Hello, welcome guys for the 10th episode of Technical D365 Finance and Operations. So till yet we have prepared the group form, we have prepared the parameter form, we have also prepared the master form yesterday. Okay, so if everyone has not gone through this particular section, I will request to go from episode number 1 and then come to episode number 10, because everything what I have told over here, how I am moving into the system, how we need to plan in the Visual Studio, everything I'm going to show you. Okay, and this needs a basic understanding from the scratch. Okay, so I will request to go for the episode from 1 of my technical series and then move on. Okay, so in the 10th series I am going to create a order entry form. What is a order entry form? Order entry form is a sales order form, purchase order form. Okay, so in this form you have a header, you have a line, within line you have three sections: line details, okay, line table, lines. Okay, so everything is there. Okay, so if you have not seen in D365 Finance and Operations, I will request to open the purchase order form, and this menu which I am telling you right now will be used for any of the format. Okay, so whenever you are preparing a form basis on the order entry form, you can use this particular thing. Okay, this has around multiple action points. Okay, so I request to start from scratch and be with me. Okay, so firstly we need to prepare a user interface and a form. So I have also corrected the car, bike, truck which was not showing, and that I have completed, and also I have completed the vehicle table form configuration. The build is completed. I will show you if time is there. I will show you in the end, or just follow this and try to build at your end. If there is anything required or any problem you are facing in any of the 10 series, please comment. And there is a download section also, URL also, where you can get the code and the structure which I am following. Okay, so now let's go to create a form. So for this we will go to the solution, we will click on the add button, we will add a new item, and under the new item we will have to create a form, and the form name will be con vehicle service table form. Okay, name the form as per the table name, so con vehicle service table form. So we will go to the Dynamics 65. Under the user interface we will have a form, and this form will have a convms vehicle service table form. Okay, so this is now created, the form is now created. Once the form is created, then you can drag and drop this particular table on the designer node, data source node. Okay, so form is nothing but a representation of a table. Okay, so we need to service table form, and this service table form we will put it in the data source. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to select the convms vehicle data source node and insert if empty, and insert at end properties to no. So these are the two properties I have told you in the episode number, I believe, 7 or 8, where these two properties are inserted and should be no, inserted is if empty should be no. Insert and end means whenever you will come to the system, so the if this is specifically for the list form, so the cursor will come to the end, which we don't want. And insert if empty, it will create a new record when the form is initialized, so that also we don't want, other than the parameters form. Okay, so that also we track with the code. Okay, so majorly this true properties will be set at no. Okay, now we are coming to the service line table to the data source node and set if empty. So this is the second table which we are going to uh, do. So this is the service line table, we will add it over here. So this is the service line table we have added, and here also we will keep the properties of end at empty and at empty should be no. So this is now done. Select the convms service table line and set the join source property to the service table. Okay, so there is actually a join property, so we will show join the source. The source will be joined with this particular table, and then we need to set the join source property to this, and then what we need to do is we need to override the init value on the consumer service line, so that we can set the service ID field as this is not set for us. Okay, so use the following code to do so. What actually we are doing, we need to link these two tables. Okay, just right now we have said ki, okay, this is the primary table, this is the child table. Okay, so what we need to do over here is we need to initialize, we need to override. Okay, override the init value method on con BMS service line. So how you will override? So for override you will click over here, right click, and then there is a override. 1 minute, where is the method over here? Then we will write the override, and we want to override the init value. Okay, so this is the init value method which we are overriding, and whenever the init value of the service line is called, this function will run. Okay, so the code on the form runs first. Okay, then once this code is run, then we will write this first. Okay, so let me write it down. Super is already there, so this line is required actually, and then we need to give this particular service ID. Consumer service line is equals to service table dot service ID is linked now, and one more create. So there is a particular function, one more function is there, create. Let me show you how you can go to it. So over here, override, there is a create. This is the create method. Okay, so on the create method we will write this particular form. Okay, so here we go and we paste it. Okay, so element.view option helper setup option is equal to detail. So this will help you out to create a form. Okay, from as a link form. Okay, so why add the form view change code, so that the form changes to a details form when new is pressed. I will tell you what actually it is doing. Okay, from the front end. Okay, so these two override, these two methods we need to override whenever we are going for the linking of two tables. So now my table is linked. Okay, so we will go again, close the code editor and go back to the form tab design and set these properties. Okay, so we will go for the caption property. It is usually fine to use a label from the table. You can also create labels such as service order detail table, as this caption shows when the details your data. Okay, so what we will do, we will take this particular as a caption and we will go over here. Okay, so now we will go to here, we will save all, and once this is saved we will go to the form level, and we'll go to this one and we will go for the caption. 1 minute. Set the properties as follows: caption, service order details. So we will go to the design pattern over here, and over here we will go for the caption. Okay, so this is the caption we have taken. Now after this caption is done, source should be service table. So we will go for the source over here, data source. We will source data source. So service table is the source. Okay, this is done. After this, title data source should also be, title should be taken from this table only. Okay, so we will go to the design, title data source. Over here we will go for the service table. Okay, now this is done. Okay, so this is now done. If you wish the title bar to use the title fields from the line table, use this instead. Apply the detailed transaction pattern to the design node. Okay, so we need to give the detailed transaction pattern over here. So we will give the detailed transaction as a pattern, and this pattern will give us some XML nodes. That's why we need to assign the detailed transaction form. Okay, so under this detailed transaction form, once you add it, you need to give the pattern, application bar, group and tab. Okay, so we need to add action pane, group and tab. Okay, so add the action pane named header action pane first. So we will go for the header action pane, right click, new action pane, header action pane, control V. Over here we will go for the header action pane. Under the header action pane, then we will go for the group. We will add a group, new group, and the group name we will take from here, navigation group, navigation list group. So give it a navigation group list and save it and see what happens in the preview section. Okay, now what we need to do is we'll have two action panes, one for the header and one for the line. Okay, so what we need to do, add a quick filter control named quick filter control to the navigation list group. Navigation list group, add a quick filter, new, let's go to the quick filter here, and we will go for the name, control V, navigation quick filter. This is now done. And once this is done, then create a grid control named navigation grid. So we will go for the navigation grid, new navigation grid, navigation grid, grid, and grid name will be navigation grid, and we will save it. Let's see the preview if there is any changes. So this has now changed. We have a quick filter, we have a navigation grid, and in the navigation grid we need to give the field, okay, the table. So we will give the data source, set the data source property of the grid control to this data source property. We will give the data source property, where is the data source property, data source property, this, here we go with the data source property we have given. Then after that, and add the service ID name fields from the data source. Okay, so we need to add the service ID and name from this table. So we will go service ID fields, service ID, where is the service ID, this is the service ID, so let's add it, and the name, right, service ID, and what was the other name, service ID and name fields, service ID and name we will add. So this is the navigation grid. Now the navigation grid is added. Now what you need to do is, and from the, okay, fill in the quick filter control with target control as grid and default column as desired. Quick filter, for the quick filter, where is the quick filter, and over here there is a property called target control. So navigation filter should go with the navigation grid, and the default column should be service ID. Okay, now save it. Now this is saved. What we need to do is, now we need to go for the, under the design node, create a tab control for the main tab, create a new tab control and name main tab. Tab control, let's go for the tab control, let's go for the tab control over here. Yes, so this is missing with the design node, so we will add new, and over here there will be a tab control. So this is the tab now added. So once you add the tab, you need to give the name of the tab. Okay, so under the design node, then name main tab. So we will go for the main tab as the name. So name will be main tab. Now this is done. Now once this is done, you need to go add a tab page name detail first and then grid tab page. Okay, so detail, so two tab page we need to add. So where we need to add this two tab page, we will go to the pattern. Main tab page has the issue. If you click on it, you will come over here, and this is requiring a two tab page, and here we go with the two tab pages, and these two tab pages has some missing, so that also we will add. We will go for the details tab page, and one is the grid panel tab page, grid panel tab page. So here we go with the grid panel tab page. This is now done. We will come to the next part. we will complete the grid panel tab page control first. So under this control, add a group control named this and a grid control name main grid. Okay, so firstly two grid controls, we add a group control, sorry, under this control add a group control. So let's go for this one and add a group control. So we will go for the group. Where is my group? So group is there, so we will give the group as a name, control A, control V, grid. It is recommended to have a separate name, specific name. Okay, this will help you out to manage the form. Okay, but because multiple things are coming over here, so now we need to add a grid control over here. So we will go for the grid control, name will be grid, and the grid control will be control A, control V, the main grid, and save it. Okay, now we have given the grid control. And secondly, let's complete the grid control data source property and use the overview for the data group property. Okay, grid control data source property, so we will go for the grid control. 1 minute, what we have added, main grid, complete the grid controls property, grid control data source property to the service table, and then it is asking and use the overview field group for the data group property. So we will go to the data group, and under the data group we will go for the, okay, I think it is the lines where I have the overview. So this is the overview. Now if you see, you will come over here, main grid, grid control panel. This is not coming, it will come. Let's wait for some time. Overview data. For the grid control quick filter group, apply the quick filters pattern. Quick filter group. Grid panel quick filter, apply the pattern, apply patterns, quick filters. Okay, so now this is quick filters pattern. Apply the quick filter pattern to the control, then add a quick filter, name it grid quick filter. So let's add a quick filter over here as well. This is a little bit confusing in the starting, but yes, as you proceed you will understand it. So we will go for the quick filter, and the quick filter name we will change. So now this is done. So grid quick control is now added. Now what we need to do is complete the control by referencing it to main grid. There is a control quick filter. We will give the tag data source, not this one. 1 minute, let me check what it was. Name it grid panel quick filter. Let's go to grid panel quick filter. Under this grid panel quick filter, there is a target control that will be main grid, and this is the main grid, and referencing to control the main grid. And then the pattern now states that main grid default action, which is a command button control, add a command button control to grid panel tab page called main grid default action. So grid panel tab page, let's go to the grid panel tab page. Over here one command button is missing. Let's add the command button, new, and let's add the command button over here. And this command button, let's name it control A, control V, main grid default action, control S. And then once this is done, on the main grid control, enter the further default action property. On the main grid control, enter, on the main grid control, enter for the default action property main grid. Where is the main grid and default action? Main grid, this is the default action for the main grid default action. Okay, now what it will do, it will take the 1 minute, let me save it first. We will add the field and you will see what this actually the control is doing. Okay, Now we have added this. To complete the details panel tab page element, reselect the details panel tab page and add a group control name details panel title group. So there is a details panel tab page. There also something is missing. Let's go over there. Details panel tab page. So there is a group missing. So we need to add a group over here. Let's add the group. Where is the group? So group is nothing but your a group where you add all the fields, a group. Okay, so you will see, if I am able to see right now, the group grid panel control, these things will come. Okay, once you will complete all the parameters. Okay, add a string control named details panel header title, details panel header title. So let's add the string over here. String, where is the string? String is now added, and name the string as details panel, setting the data source to service line. So see what will happen, and data method to title fields. 1 minute. Let me go to the data source first. Data source is the service line, and data method to title fields. Let's copy it over here. Okay, so title fields, now this is done. We will save it, and once we will save it, we will go to the next. Okay, now we have to complete our title. Okay, now we need to complete the header and title panel pattern element. Add a new tab control to the details panel tab page and named header and line panel tab. Okay, so let's go to the detail panel tab page. Something is missing over there as well. We will go to the preview form. What we have tried to prepare over here. We'll go to the details panel tab page. This is the details panel tab page. One tab is missing over here, so we will add a tab page over here, new, and then a tab page. New tab page, new tab. This is the new tab page is missing, so this tab page, new tab control to the detail and header and line panel tab, header and line panel tab. Let's add it. Now what we'll do, this will start adding a new control for you. Okay, now let's go to the add a new tab page for the lines panel, and let's go to the lines panel pattern element. The lines panel, where are we? Let's go to the pattern form, and over here main tab has something missing, so add a new tab page for the lines panel pattern element, name lines panel tab page. Let's go to lines panel tab page first. Where, let me close this, let me close all the errors, let me lines panel tab page. Where is my lines panel tab page? Header action, no issue. Navigation, no issues. Navigation grid is there. Let's main tab has a details panel tab page. Details, header and line. Okay. So here it is asking for the lines panel tab page. Add a new tab page for the lines panel, name lines panel tab page. Let's go to the lines panel. I am just looking for if we are not missing anything. Okay, so let's add a lines panel tab page, new tab page we have now added, and this tab page will be the named lines panel tab page. Let's go here and give it a name as lines panel tab page. With this, the lines panel tab page, and the second for the header panel tab page. So one more tab page we will add over here. One more lines panel tab page. Let's go for new tab page and give the name as header panel tab page. Okay, and now we will go for the preview part, and okay, let me complete it and I will show you. And add a new tab control to the line panel tab page, name line view tab. So under the line panel tab page, lines panel tab page, there is a tab missing. So within this there is a tab page required. So we'll go for the tab page over here. This is the tab page and we will give the name as line view tab. Okay, so this will be used for the viewing the line. And then we have we will now add 3 tab page to this control. So under the line view, 3 tab pages are required. So this is the tab page, tab page, tab page. Okay, so this is for header, this is for line, and this is for details. So lines view. So we will add 3 tab page, 1, 2, and 3. So these 3 tab pages are now added. Okay, add the line view header detail tab page pattern element name line view header and apply the field. Okay, add the line view header detail tab page pattern element named line view header. Okay, so we will apply over here, apply the pattern to field and field groups. Okay, now this is done, field and field groups. Then set the label to the vehicle service order details. Vehicle service order details to the label. Where is this one? This control has a label. So let's give it this caption and then set the label property, apply this, and there's a line view header. Let's click on the caption to add the line view pattern element name line view header. Line view header, let's give it a name, line view header, and over here on this we will have a label. I think caption is the only one over here, no label is there. Okay, drag the details and the service states field groups from the service table data source to the line view header tab. Okay, so details and service states, so let's go for the field groups over here, and field groups are over here, details and service states. Okay, so over here we have added this, then we have added the details and service states. Okay, so now these two groups are also added. So after this, what we need to do is from the field group line view header table, add the line tab page pattern named line view page and set the caption to service order lines. Okay, so service order lines. Now give it a, let me check if it is mentioning lines view. Over here, is there a label? No. Lines view label. No, there's a caption only. So I think it is mentioning the caption only. Okay, so the lines view page, it needs a two thing, action pane and a grid. So that also we are going to add now. Set the caption property service order lines. So we will see service order lines to the caption property. Now this is added. After this we need to give the add the line view details pattern and named. Okay, let's name it with the label property service order line details. So let's go for this one and go for the this one. Let's give it a, and over here we will go for the, make sure you are not scrolling on the field value, else it will take you to the next by default value and it will create a problem while you are deploying to the production environment. This will take some time, okay, to debug. So unnecessary, don't make problem. There are many problems in your way to come. Now service order line details is done. Set the data source property of the lines view detail tab page and line to the convey service line. Okay, so for both these details and lines page, the data source property should be line, and over here lines view also the data source should be line. Now this is done. What we need to do again is set the data source property to the con service line. This is done. Now we will come to the details tab page, lines view. This is the data source property. This is the data source property. This is now done. Now we will go to the last. Add an action pane to the lines view line page. Let's go to the lines view lines page. Add an action pane. Right click, new action pane, and the action pane name will be to the line control named line action pane, lines action pane. Let's go over here, control V, lines action pane, and under that a button group control name line action records. Not sure as this will inherit from the parent tab. Okay, so we need to add a button group also. So we will go here and lines view. Grid is required. On the line action nothing is required. So I believe it is asking for the where it is showing the button, it is asking the grid. Okay, and add a action pane to the lines view line page. Let's go to the lines view lines page, action. Under this section pane, let's see what is this, lines view lines page pattern. One grid is missing. Let me check if grid we are going to add under the line. Add a command action line. This is allowed to remove. Add the second command button named. Okay, add a new grid control. Yes, grid we are going to deploy in further. So let's add a button under that, a button group named line action record action. Okay, so what we will do, we will add a button in the under this, and new over here, or line action line page, new button group. Actually it is asking for add the button group named, yes. So button group, let's give it a button group. Okay, so this group is now added, button group, and we do not need to change any other data source right now. It will inherit. Under the line section group button group, add a command button named line action add line. Under the line action record action group button group record actions group, under the line action record action group line action record action group, we need to add a new button, and this button will be add a command button named line action add line, line action add line. Let me check if there is any other button. Command button, it is asking for command button, not this one, so we will delete it and we will go for the command button. Control A, control V, line action add line. So what will happen, this will come over here and a command button will be created for you. Okay, so what is a command button? Command button is a specific means on the purchase order form you have separate buttons, right? So those buttons also we will be showing. Okay, so this allow the user to add or remove lines to and from the lines grid and set the properties of the command control as property normal image as add line. So let's add the image normal image as add line, and then we are going to text add a line, go for the text add a line, and then finally command new, command equals to new. Where is my command? This is the command equals to new. Let's go for the new. Where is my new? So this is the new command it is going to take at the line action level. Okay, add a second command button, line action remove. So second command button, new command button, give it a name Control V, and normal image equals to delete, normal image equals to delete. So these are the two buttons you have seen at the lines level, sales order line level. Okay, so these are the two things you will see, and then there is a command. It is used for delete, so we will go for the D, and here we go for the delete. Okay, now delete action is there. We have several other actions as well. Okay, like cut, copy, paste. These options are also there. Depending upon the scenario, you can use it. Okay, so we will go for the text. The text will be shown here, and then command will be delete record. Normal image, normal image command delete record. Okay, now this is done. Now what we need to do is add a new grid control to the lines view tab page, and lines page. Yes, over here let's add a grid name. Grid contains your everything, so let's go for the grid and give it a name of the grid. Name of the grid, name lines grid. Let's give it a lines grid. And over here, once you add the lines grid, set the data source property to conservice lines. Conservice lines. Where is my conservice lines? Data source to conservice lines. Once this is done, now once you have added the data source line, then you need to drag the overview. So we have a overview tab. So overview from where? Overview to the service line. Okay, so from the con view service line, we have a overview tab where we have already added the fields. This we will add over the lines grid. So now all the fields whichever is in the overview tab, that will come over here. Even though the data is set to the parent control, this is not used by, which means it need to be set explicitly on the control. So now we have a tab control required at this level. So we will add a tab control. So we will add a tab control. Let's go over here, new tab control. So let's give the name. So lines view tab page, and once this is the new line tab page added, we would usually add one or more tab pages here, but for the case we will only need one. Add a tab page control named lines, add a tab page control named using the field and field group pattern. So there will be a field and field group pattern. New tab page, field and field group pattern. Apply the pattern, field and field groups, and one field to create a label and use it to, then create a label and use it a caption property. So in the caption I will write the vehicle details, and over here if you go to the preview section, over here you will be able to find out. Okay, so now we will have a create label caption property, drag the auto identification details from the service line to data source. Okay, so now we need to add the auto identification over here under the form tab control. Okay, I missed the name. I need to change the name of this form control, and then create a label tab page named, yes, add a tab page control named. So we will give the, this helps us to identify. Okay, I will request when you are creating this type of form, have a detailed description while preparing. Okay, this PPT can help you out to design, and in this way you can, when you are working with a real-time project, we use these things. Okay, and detail also, one more form we will add, details field group. There is a details field group, so this also I have added, because details I think I have not added over here. So this is the details it is asking for. Okay, Okay, so auto identify details from the con data source. Actually, it is asking details from the convical service lines, but in the convical service lines, I'm not seeing any this detail. So no problem. Let's go ahead. If details is not there, let's delete it once and let me see if I have added at the details level or not. Okay, if not, you can add it, and going further, you can change your definition. Okay, now we need to complete the header view of the form, which is governed by the header panel. Right click on the header panel tab page and new tab. Okay, and set the data source. So header panel tab page, header panel tab page, header panel tab page. Where is the header panel tab page? So this is the header panel tab page. Over here we need to add a tab page, so we will go to the new tab page over here, and this tab page will be right click on the header panel, new tab, and set the data source property. Now into that view, which is governed by the header panel pattern element. Right click on the header panel, new tab, and set the data source property to con VMS vehicle service table. Okay, so this form will be data source con VM vehicle service table, and we will give the, let's leave it like this for now. We usually have many field groups to add, but in case we just need one, create a new tab control named header details tab page, apply the details tab page, field group pattern. Over here we need to give a apply pattern, 1 minute, a new tab. Okay, is it a new tab? It is a tab page actually. So we will go to header panel tab page. We need a tab page actually, so new tab page. Okay, so this is perfect. Tab page I have added. Now new tab page, set the data source to con VMS vehicle service table, con VMS vehicle service table. This is now done. This is not required actually, and then we will usually need create a new tab control named header details tab page details. Okay, header details tab page. So we will copy paste, control C, control V, copy and paste or duplicate. Okay, so we will give it a name. What is the name of this one? Header detail tab page named, okay, tab details. We will go for the control V, header details tab page. Now once the header detail tab page there, apply the field group and set the caption property to field group pattern. We have to add the tab page will apply the pattern field and field groups. This is now added, field and field groups, and at the caption property, let's give it a caption property, and then finally we will be adding the drag and details and service dates from the service table data source, but rename them with the prefix header details tab details. Okay, so we will add the details and service date field groups, details and service date, details and service dates, details and service dates, but it is saying that okay, prefix it with, okay, so we will take the prefix details one. We'll go ahead, we'll go for the service dates, and over here we will go for the service date. Okay, now this is done. Now we need to do is we will need to create a new menu item, label as a tables, but we will need to default the form. So let's create a menu item. Okay, so The form normally consists of display menu item, so we have to prepare a display menu item like this we have prepared. So we'll go for the add new item, then we will go for the display menu item. The display menu item will be con VMS vehicle service order details. Add it. And once this is added, cons VMS vehicle service order details and form view. We want to, whenever this is clicked, we want the form view. Default view should be form. So we will go for the form default view. There is one property with the form view option, the auto and what it said, grid form view default form view option to grid, form view option to grid. We want to have it in the grid. A grid should be opened, okay, and then and form view, this is now done. We need to add a form object type. Okay, so con VMS vehicle service table. Now this is added. We will add a label service order details. This is now added, service order details, and then complete form ref property of the table. Now let's go to the table over here and let's add this form ref. So form ref will be con VMS vehicle service order details. Okay, so now the form reference of the display menu item is also done, and add the menu item to our menu. Okay, so this menu item, this display menu item will be added to our menu. So where is our menu con VMS vehicle service? So we will go ahead and we will add it to the service order details. So con VMS vehicle service orders. So now we have prepared this also. Okay, so finally what we will do, we will now go ahead and we will now control S, and once we will go to the form level and we will see if there is any issue, any error is there or not. Okay, so for this we will go to the front end details. There is a main tab missing. It will give us the error. The main tab page has a details panel tab page is required. Details panel tab page has a header line tab page required. Header line has a unmatched control form tab page. Control 1. Okay, so this is actually giving us an error. Form tab page control. If I delete it and if I now go to details panel tab page, there is main tab, details panel tab has an issue, header and line page tab, unmatched controls. Okay, so it is asking for the unmatched controls. 1 minute, let me check where is this missing. Field and field groups. This should be tab page, or tab is missing. Let's add a new tab over here. Now over here a new tab page is missing. Let's add the new tab page, and over here let's go to this one, main tab page, details panel tab page, header and lines panel tab page, details. This is missing. Unmatched controls. It has some unmatched controls. What is this unmatched controls? Unmatched controls default. We need to see what there is some step we have missed out. If I build it also, it will give me the error. See, I believe the one which on this particular form we have missed something. Okay, so let's see what actually we have missed out. It will give us an error, but using this particular form, this particular pattern, we will be able to create. There are multiple nodes where due to which it is showing us an error. We will see and we will resolve it in the next section. Okay, let me check also where I am missing, what particular tab is missing. So let me reconstruct it and we'll come back. Okay, so but this pattern you can follow to complete your order details page. Okay, so thank you guys.